So Vitality needs, man. They don't have confidence, so score early, try and find a way to regain that momentum.
That's good defense by Zen. Not a lot of boost. Still gets an effective touchdown field now. Exotic's turn to advance the ball, but he can't get past Dizzy. Time this week. Tries to go 1v3. He just gets the ball past opponents and manages to keep such close control of it in the process.
Monkey Moon on 0. He was kind of awkward the play before that.
Wow.
Put him on 0. Stizzy, though, cannot drop it down. Vitality gets away with 1. Exotic gonna look for a clear out to Zen. Great 50, though. So, but Monkey Moon does get the clear. 1 man back. Joris will clear it to the side for some breathing room. But Vitality with Zen going up the wall, throwing it off. Joris, though, a little bit miscommunication there with his teammate. But so far, just a little bit of a midfield game. Both sides making some small mistakes here, but nothing too threatening yet.
Yeah, Dignitas, they probably should have tied it. It was a tough shot for Stizzy when he did hit the bar. He needed to manage his boost perfectly to get up high enough. The warning was there. Vitality have got to shape up here. They're, hoping that Dignitas missed their chances. I think they're going to be hoping in vain over the course of the next game or 2 or maybe 3. So far is still Vitality in the lead. Stizzy bumping Zen back into his own shot. That gives time for Jorius to cover Exotic's follow-up. Another counter-attack from Jorius. He's flicked it from distance. Zen gets up and deflects it into the corner.
Jorius, a threat on both sides of the field. We see it again. Great save. Turns it straight into a counterattack. Almost scored again for a 2-goal swing, but gets just barely not enough on it. Jorius, though, somehow gets that demo on Exotic to keep this play alive. Apparently, Jack throws it mid. Monkey Moon's there. Beats 1, but Jorius just throws it deep, so Zen will get an easy clear and throws it deep to Dignitas. And both teams just looking for that boost control, trying to throw it deep and refresh it. Infield pass though to Exotic, cannot read it. Only had 10 boost left in the tank, couldn't catch up to it.
Yeah, it's not a good touch by Exotic as it naturally clears itself, ending the attack rapidly. Zen's actually got a good setup here. Exotic has another try at it, but once more, Dignitas are able to turn these saves into counterattacks. Vitality with Zen now looking for a double. It's gone straight down. Might have clipped Jack as well. Zen is pretty consistently outplaying the Dignitas defense, but he needs some help here to get the goal. Zen denied with his own shot this time. Dignitas hold on.
Joris, another rotation goal line save. He's done a ton of those throughout this match and doing a good job of forcing those rebounds to corners or to just gain possession by himself. But here's the play out to Zen. Exotic decides to take it by himself and not go for the pass. Monkey Moon trying to do something with it, but nothing is there, so Dignitas will take over. Pass mid, doesn't have any boost. Jorius has a chance at the shot. Jack is trying to disrupt. The tap down, cannot hit it, bottom left corner.
Well, they're denied by the crossbar earlier. Now the post comes to Vitality's rescue. Bump landed, the setup was good. The shooting from Dignitas has declined slightly in game 5.
Game of inches, and Dignitas 2 inches away from having a 2-1 lead. Make that 3 inches away from a 3-1 lead. Apparently Jack hits it wide.
And it's the post again. That update doing work in this game. Jorius tries to advance again, running into a pretty high defensive line. Vitality ready to defend further upfield, so they don't need to rely on the post and the crossbar as much as they have. Dignitas should have absolutely put one of those chances away.
I mean, they should have put at least 2 in, right? So they should be in the lead right now, but instead, Vitality holding on, trying to bleed this clock out. Dignitas, though, is not done just yet. Bad touch there by Dig, and it'll turn into a counterattack. Jack off his back, cannot read it. Jorius, though, will get the clear. 20 on the clock, and Dignitas has to find possession.
It looks like they'll get one chance at a counter-attack here. Vitality are pretty pushed up. Exotic bangs it on target. Jorius pops it up. Jack stays in the midfield to try and chase this one down. Can't get there in time. Jorius collects the air dribble. Needs some help getting the attack started, though. Jack can't get past Exotic. It looks like he's gone mid past everyone, though, but Zen, confident third-man challenge. Backs Dignitas up into a corner. It looks like they're going to be able to make it across the line here, or will they? Hold on a second. They need Zen to do something here. Jack keeps it in the air. Jorius mid to Stizzy. Zen does cover it. And Dignitas are doing a great job. They are going to get one more opportunity.
Jack off the wall, doesn't have a lot of boost, can get it midfield though. Jorius is up first. Zen backflips out of it, but Jorius four touch, looking for the pass, but Zen read it because of that backflip where he didn't go into the air to challenge. And Vitality claw back in.
Just, yeah, the right word, they're clawing back in. They barely did enough, got the early goal, and then just survived. It was overall a far better showing from Vitality, however.
Yep.
Dignitas shooting has gone back to the Stone Age in that game, but Vitality were able to get far more possession, more pressure than in the previous few games. So definitely some promising signs for the former world champions.
Yeah, but it did feel like the chances were still on Dignitas' side. We talked about it, 3 inches away from 3 goals. So the chances were there for Dignitas. I think Vitality, they still have some work to do. Yes, they had the offensive possession, but now it's more about let's make those turn into something. Watch out for those counterattacks as well out of Dignitas. So I think there's still work to be done, but they will be very, very pleased with that result, because that was a game I think Dignitas, while it didn't have possession, had more chances on net than Vitality. So Vitality will take it, go into Neo Tokyo down 3-2, trying to make the comeback.
And you know, I'd like to see Vitality attack the near post more. We're seeing Dignitas counter-attack off of shadow defense saves so many times. The swatting save to the back corner immediately turns into a wall play, either an air dribble or a clear. And I think if Vitality could just go for that near post more, you're going to get follow-ups so much more quickly and keep that attack going a bit longer.
So here's Zen getting some possession, throws it a little too deep, so Jorius will just turn it away. Some demos coming out. Zen looking for 2 demos, can't get the second. Apparently Jack will just rip this one on net. Monkey Moon and Zen both jump, but Monkey Moon does make a clean save. But Zen will die for it, and the wide open net for Stizzy. And that was all because apparently Jack, with the demo, forces Zen on the respawn. With the double commit by Vitality, just opens up the door for a wide open net.
I mean, Monkey Moon, he's missed the catch in the back corner. Exotic saw that, tried to help out, but they've just both bum rushed the back corner and left the net open, left mid open. It's a careless defensive play once again for Vitality.
And there's apparently Jack again with that physical play, making it happen to begin this lead here that could clinch them another Grand Finals appearance versus K-Corp. Vitality desperately, though, wants a 12th attempt on K-Corp. They want to eventually beat them, and here's a chance. Zen cannot get the shot in. Apparently Jack will just redirect this out, but Exotic with 30 boost in the tank gets the low 50 on apparently Jack. Can anyone drop it down? Monkey Moon to Zen somehow finds a hole to tie it up.
Oh, Stizzy thought he could turn and hit this. He didn't realize it was coming at him that quickly, and then he's panicked on the next go as well. A couple of back-to-back blunders by Stizzy there, allowing Vitality back into the game. Vitality needed that, as it wasn't the cleanest conversion by them either.
Exotic right off the kickoff, trying to get around one. Can't. Zen will just throw it on net. Apparently Jack, awkward save. Exotic, double tap or pass, turns into a pass, but Monkey Moon cannot clean it up. But the redirect just throws it high. And Dignitas will control into their own corner. Jorius still on 0 boost. So see if Exotic can do much here. Leaves it for Zen. Zen with the bump. No, apparently Jack avoids it and gets the clear.
Vitality staying in the final third for a long time here. Zen with the ceiling drop down passes towards Monkey Moon, who digs the post as well. He is trying to slot that one in the corner. And he's missed it, much like Dignitas did last game.
It's a good sign, though, for Vitality. Now it's offense possession with scoring chances as well. Zen, he's got a chance. The flip reset into the 50, down to Monkey Moon. All of Dignitas diving in front of every single challenge to keep this ball out.
That's another heavy commit to the back corner by Vitality in defense. They've got to be careful here. They're creating a lot of volatility near their goal, and that could end in the ball spilling mid at pace for Dignitas to follow up on. There's another heavy hit across the goal by Zen. Dignitas will not mind that at all. Jorius forces for his teammates behind him. Chance for Zen. Challenge well. It's good defense once more by Dignitas.
And Vitality just has to be like, all right, let's keep playing our game. We're getting our scoring chances. We have the pressure.
Oh my.
But you can't give up the free one. You can't do it. The great challenge in the air by Joreuz, and Jack is just sitting there waiting for the easiest goal of his life.
Well, I guess the target man play style can pay off in Rocket League. The poaching from this guy. I mean, referee, he was miles offside. Vitality did not keep somebody back to mark him. Jack punishes them on a huge dunk by Joreuz.
Oh, that's got to be so frustrating for Vitality. So many scoring opportunities, can't get them with great defense by Dig.
Oh.
Desperation defense, and another one goes wide. 2 demos, though, so Zen will keep his play alive. They're going for more demos. Apparently, Jack avoids it and gets the challenge out. Dig, again, somehow get the ball out.
And the shooting's not been good enough in this game. Exotic there hitting the post. And, you know, it wasn't close. It wasn't post and across. It was just flat. So, you know, both teams have struggled with accuracy over the last couple of games. Dignitas, 90 seconds away from another grand final against Karmine Corp.
Not only that, we'll take over the overall EU number 2 heading into Raleigh. So if they just match Vitality at Raleigh, they will get that seed going into the World Championship. But Dig wants more. They want K-Corp again. They want to prove that they can do it twice in a row. As we see Zen trying to do it all, but again, Dignitas there to deny and clear it deep. More demos coming out, more physical play. Lots of physical play coming out, more and more demos. Monkey Moon has some space, tries to get around one. Apparently Jack will get the clear though, and Vitality has to be careful. Zen barely getting a touch on that. Got to be careful of their third man. Yes, you are down 1, but you still have plenty of time on the clock.
And if they concede now, it would make the game infinitely more difficult. Yes, we'd be back at a kickoff, which can often result in a goal for someone, but Vitality have got to try and stay resolute here. We're not in the absolute last seconds quite yet. They will be soon. Joreuz with the stealing clear. Flicks it to the backboard. Zen offloads to Monkey Moon. The Dignitas are challenging early. They're not sitting back. They are showing how to close out a game with aggression.
Every single time there's one Dignitas player in the face of Vitality. Vitality can't get anything going. We talk about them spread around, but they always have one on the ball, glued to it for every single challenge. Just keeping Vitality from getting any scoring chances in the back half of this game. Monkey Moon, one last opportunity. Tries to get it to Zen. Plays it slow for Zen. But the ball spills out to Exotic. Joreuz with the clear. Zen's getting bumped out. This is it. Somehow he keeps it alive.
What?
Zen with another touch. The shot by Exotic cannot get there. Zen again will keep it up. Monkey Moon to Zen, but Zen's got no boost. He's going to go pick that up. Exotic trying to feed his teammate. Joreuz off the ceiling. Just wants this to drop. It will not fall. Monkey Moon, one last chance. Another deny. Make that another chance here. Zen tries to keep it up and then finally falls, and Dignitas will get another shot at K-Corp to make it back-to-back regional champions.
Just too good. Over the course of the series, no doubt, Dignitas are just simply better at the moment. Vitality will need to settle for 3rd in Europe. Dignitas are entering the KC tier, a tier no other team in the world has been able to get into all year. Dignitas are set to join them. I think that they need to beat them again to probably get into that tier, I'd say, but this is a solid performance. Even with the chances going astray in Game 5, even with this slow Game 1, Dignitas were still clearly in control.
And yeah, there's no doubt about it. It is K-Corp and Dignitas, but now we're going to have a great matchup there coming up, Dignitas, K-Corp. It's only a 4-point difference, Johnny, between the two teams for this split. So the EU1 seed will be on the line in this matchup coming up. Dignitas can take that from K-Corp. So we'll see if they can do it. Vitality will have to settle for 3rd place, but
خلينا نفوز بالله ذا الجيم حرام نخسر ايش تكفى
والله الحرام البنك فيك
والله استوعب الكلب
والله ما يستوعب احنا حمير طيب اهجد تكفى
Dirt bike gas stations. Oof. Down. Want me to do yours next? They have to fill the silence.
The bathroom code's 9914.
Progressive can protect you from becoming your parents, but we can protect your home and auto when you bundle with us.
Look at this hot rodder!
Champion to be crowned until next year. RLCS events coming up. We have NA 1v1 coming up next week. Next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's a chance I can't stream Friday, but I'll let you guys know. Saturday, Sunday for sure I'll stream it. I have wedding stuff I might have to do on Friday.
Good day, sir.
Cyber with the 14 months, man. Thank you, bro. Apparently Jack's gonna win. Alright, Craig, I see you. I have Dago winning this in game 7, so we'll see. I believe in KC, but this is what my tingle's telling me. Anyway, remaining RLCS events, guys. We have NA and Mina 1v1 NA and Mina 1v1 regional next week. The winner of both of those makes it to the major. They play each other. Winner of that makes Worlds Finals against Moxie. After that, we have a 3-week break until Worlds, or 3-week break until Major. Then we have the Major, then we have a 3-month break until Worlds.
Sur ce petit ton. Bon, vous allez bien, vous avez passé un bon week-end.
Bah, trop bien.
Et on va le conclure. J'allais dire. Super, on va le conclure. Ici, vous savez, c'est le Becherel. La grammaire, c'est tous les dimanches. On va le conclure, les amis, bien sûr.
والله نادر بس شوف سحب علي
خلنا ما يقدر يسوي شيء. شوف البوزيشن حقه ترى نيد الثاني خلاص بمزعه.
عندك كذا
اوه تقول لي نخاش.
استنى روق عندك تايم. هدف عليك ما اقدر يا
تعزيز
بس اسمع لا تفلب هاي
0 بموت
يا اخي قلت لك لا تفلب.
ايوه قصدك على تكي.
ايه تقدر تحذف. هاي سكين
حتى العبوا لما تعدون يا غبي انتوا.
ضيعت اوبا والله ما يبعد هذه انا رميت. اقسم بالله هذا سيف 50. اخوان اللعب زق ما حد بيتطور ترى.
هاي ترى لهم والله.
راح قادر
برا ما عليك.
عندي شوف هذه قادر
علي عليك. عندي
جنون. فجر فجرت واحد
انفجرت. اوه راح يا شيخ.
راح طب هذه
عندي ما عليك. عندي يضيع يعني مثل لعبي غريب. هذا
لا انا افكر
رمي انا بموت انا.
قسم
ايش تقدر
لا الليل
عندنا
والله قد
مد
يا لا ايه لا هذه العيونك هاي تعلمتها منك.
انا اثق والله انا
راح راح
عندي خلها
ايوه انا اصفر يا بس ها
انا دراني معك
لا
بالتيم.
هاي بالتيم يلا يتحول درالي ضرر يا درالي. يا روح كلم فرنسا فتحت الوسط فتش فجرت
Hello and welcome back to the Rocket League Championship Series. It is getting closer and closer. Oh wait, never mind, it's here. The Grand Finals is on its way as Vitality suffers a huge roadblock and cannot overcome Dignitas, and they find themselves yet again in a Grand Finals. Up against K-Corp, welcome back. I'm Leaf, and we have Gibbs and Johnny now to break down our final desk on our last qualifier. Gibbs,
wow.
This is it. This is the last one.
It's crazy. It's June. We're already done. It's just wild. It's just wild to think about. Not only that, though, normally we end these where it's like, it's a grand finals. It really doesn't have that many implications. But sure, both teams are going to the major. But Dignitas is looking to be the EU1 seed after what K-Corp has done is absolutely insane.
Okay, well, let's talk about it in a second here. Let's break down this match a little bit. Or we can talk about it now, I guess. Say it again.
Yeah, so Dignitas, they're only 4 points down. Leaf, trivia, how many points do you get for a grand finals win over the other team?
How many points do you get for a grand finals win over the other team? It was 5 points, right?
6 points. I knew you would get it wrong. So that's okay. Dignitas,
Maybe do math.
5 or 6 works, but Dignitas will take over the EU1 seed to win this by 2 points going into the Raleigh Major. And obviously for the full year, K-Corp has a huge lead on that, so they don't have to worry too much just yet. But Dignitas looking to become back-to-back regional champions against what everyone considers the best team in the world, John.
Yeah, they look like they could do it as well. They're playing such great Rocket League. You know, some inaccuracies here and there, but overall the game plan looks great. The execution looks great, and even when they do make some mistakes, they're right back into action. And in comparison, Vitality just seem like they start to just fall apart at times and just lose goal after goal. We've got Monkey Moon eye rolling in real life. They're just not quite on the same page, and they're not covering each other as well as Dig are.
Yeah, but it just feels like when there's an ounce of chaos, like Dignitas thrives, while Vitality, it just falls apart, right? Vitality's like, oh, we have this game plan, but once one thing goes wrong, they get out of position, they get confused, while Dignitas is like, yeah, sure, Joris, pre-jump this on accident and just follow it up and score and just make it work. It just seems like Dignitas can figure it out quicker than Vitality right now. And we always talk about, father time happens to all of us. It feels like that's what's happening to a Monkey Moon. But at the same time, his competition, Jack and Joris, have been around forever as well. So, they're doing so well late, into their careers. So hats off to Dignitas. They look like they could, once again, take down K-Corp.
Yeah, let's take a look at that season overview again, just to give you guys a visual of where we're at. We are almost done. I said it a moment ago, and I wasn't lying to you. Open number 6 has one grand final left to go through. And then we're into the ones next week. And then it's just LAN, LCQ, and LAN. And then the 2025 season is then done. You can't get more tickets for Worlds there, but you can join us at Raleigh. So again, last time here, I want to shout it out. Well, I'll do it one more time at the end of the day. But for now, go get your tickets. Scan that QR code. Please join us. We just love hanging out and wandering around, talking to fans, watching some great Rocket League. It is an atmosphere that you just can't understand it until you've been there. Ask anybody that's been to a LAN, and they're going to tell you it's something else. If you've been to a concert of one of your favorite bands, you'll know that feeling. It's something super special. Everyone's there to hang out and celebrate the same thing, and it's really cool. So we'd love to see you guys there.
Maybe you were waiting for your favorite team to make it if you're a big fan of the Mates who just qualified. Maybe now is your time to buy your tickets and head on over to the East Coast.
All right, well, let's start moving on here because, as I said, a grand finals is waiting for us. Dignitas and K-Corp are our last matchup, and man, it should be a good one. We've seen this one already before, Johnny. This is a rematch now of our last qualifier, and we all know how that went. We've seen the blue wall bleed.
We have, and this, just simply the fact that we're going into a K-Corp final and we're going into a match regionally against K-Corp, and we really do think that this is winnable for the other team is kind of crazy, because after 4 events, nobody would have thought that that's possible. The GK run was a flash in the pan and then back to normal, but Dignitas have really leveled up, and they're looking to make that jump into S tier, in my opinion. And K-Corp in the global Rocket League world, they've kind of put themselves in a tier of their own, but Dignitas are trying to get up to that level with a win today. I reckon they would.
K-Corp versus Dignitas. This is a matchup that we talked about at the beginning, Gibbs, during the pre-show. We started the entire day saying these two teams look like they are on collision course, and we were not mistaken. Here they are in the grand finals.
Yeah, our pre-show bracket is perfect so far. I'll see if that continues. We had K-Corp winning this, and very likely, I assume most of us will pick K-Corp. But Dignitas, just one of those teams that hangs around, and we saw it in that last year's. I don't think it was perfect Rocket League out of Dignitas, but last Open, it wasn't perfect Rocket League until they played K-Corp as well, when then they really played up to K-Corp's level. Like, it wasn't K-Corp playing down to their competition. Dignitas rose to that challenge, so Dignitas will try and do it again here. But K-Corp is the final boss of all of Rocket League. Everyone expects them to be in all these grand finals. They have been so far of this year. Can they set the record? No European team has ever won 4 regionals in a season. That even includes when we had 9 regionals. So K-Corp is looking to do something that no other European team has ever done. And Dignitas is looking to do the unthinkable, winning back-to-back versus the best team in the world.
Yeah, Johnny, that's the other thing. It's like, sure, you've done it once, but can you do it again? I mean, there's a reason that we continually to put, you know, our all of our predictions behind the blue walls, because over time they've been that consistent variable when it comes to this European region.
Yeah, they have, and I think they've responded well to that loss, even immediately afterwards. I liked the takes I was hearing from them and seeing from them on socials. So immediately, you know, you're thinking good things based on the loss. They, you know, say that this is something to learn from. It's good. They somebody's finally at their level, and yeah, they're taking it now to the next level, I think, and getting their revenge in the process. These guys, they don't like losing, and luckily for them, they don't have to lose very often. But they'll want to get their quota of 2 regional wins per split. They need this one to make that quota.
A progressive fan vote is live now, and I'm not gonna lie. Generally, we will see the blue wall overtake these, but I have a feeling Dignitas might edge this one out here, because it's happened before. People want to see this team just lift themselves and elevate into that upper echelon that Johnny was just talking about a moment before, where it seems like K-Corp was sitting by themselves. And I think that'd be a great story going into Raleigh if we can have another team at that level. But again, they have to do that here up against Blue Wall. Dignitas, I think they're ready for it. But Gibbs, I mean, what's it going to be? We talked about the offense versus the defense in your head. What wins? We saw it win last time. The offense.
I feel like Dignitas is going to have to be that pop-off potential. When there is chaos and you do get open and you have space, these players are going to have to make a play. Like, apparently Jack is going to be the one upfield trying to cause that chaos, and if he can do that, then there's a chance. But K-Corp just rotates so well. They don't get demoed that often. It's going to be very, very difficult for Dignitas to pull it off again. They did it last time, and they did it against a good K-Corp. But still, I'm just going to throw my prediction out there. I'm going K-Corp here to get that regional win.
I was going to say, Johnny, if there's anyone on the desk that might go Dig, I feel like it might be Gibbs, because he's been on this team for a while. But even if he's not, I imagine you aren't either.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm going KC. You know, sticking with just the bracket we joint predicted at the start of the day. So far, it's worked out pretty well. So gonna go KC here for the revenge. But I'm hoping we get another great series. Last time they played, it was absolute cinema. Let's have at it.
Yeah, I can't break it either. If it happens again here, then yeah, my predictions will be thrown into skew going forward. If this happens to be a matchup in Raleigh, but right now, it just has to be K-Corp on the pick just through numbers. Hey, I had a feeling, I'm not gonna lie, I had a feeling that Dignitas might win the fans' hearts right now, and I want to see that story. I think it'd be exciting either way. I know it's going to be an amazing game of Rocket League, and it's here. The grand finals is finally upon us, the last European qualifier before we hit LAN and then Worlds. Dignitas versus K-Corp. Is K-Corp inevitable, or can Dignitas do it again?
So, for the last time this season, let's get to it. KC have been the team to beat. Dignitas have been happy to beat them. Can they do it twice in a row, CJ? As we get into our Game 1, brought to you by Progressive.
How about that chat vote? It feels like KC fans versus the world. The people want to see Dig go back to back. KC want to continue their seasonal domination. I think it's going to be a good one, Shogun.
Well, it seems like the French have been unable to dislodge this team from the very top. So what do we go towards? We go to the Spanish, an Englishman, as well as someone from the Netherlands. Not quite the usual trio of nations to come together for this sort of stuff. But hey, you got to do what you got to do when you're against a Titan this strong.
Man, they just create a bit of magic, a bit of a hodgepodge of nations, as you mentioned, and it's created a team that it looks like, you know, one of the only teams that can take down KC, who are looking unstoppable outside of last event. Open 5 was to Dig, and open 6 go Dig's way as well. Joris, he wants a double reset to kick things off, turns it into an air dribble. They are looking confident. We do talk as well, Shogun, about playing the most recent semi-final. Obviously, that was Dignitas, so perhaps they are warmed up going into game 1.
Yeah, there's always the chat between, is it a warm-up, is it tiring? They won't care whatsoever. They're all about trying to get the win. Joris is all over them at the moment. And for a player that has been around for as long as he has been, he seems so renewed in his energies in this game. I was like, you know, when he joined onto the scene, there was such high hopes for him, and he never quite reached them. But for the last few months, Joris has been that guy for this team. Here's Jack, backboard. Vatira should have this covered, but that's a settle for a 50.
Yeah, I think Joris, his colours were lowered, I'd say, when he joined Madian. Obviously went over to North America, but I don't want to be biased. When he joined the OCE boys on the Chiefs and the Great White was born, it really raised his international stocks. They actually took down Gentlemates on that occasion a couple of times. And there's a great shot. Jack, even better save. Dig able to keep it out for now. Keep the scores tied at 0-0, but KC are pressing here. Here we go. Vatira reset. Jack with another save for their low boost.
This is the one thing that Dignitas did last time that really threw KC off, is that KC find the demos against everybody, except this team. They come so close, but Dignitas have got this ability just to avoid them. That one's going to be a touch high. Stizzy's waiting around, but Tira's straight on him. In comes Atto. Big challenge from Joris. Stizzy will take over. No real issues.
Yeah, I think Atto wanted the close double. Instead, it's rolled up the wall. Still, it's been KC with the majority of the offense. You do know how quickly D can turn things around. Atto with space. Creates the 50. Oh, it's another double crit. It's a trailing Vatira combo again, Shogun. They played this in the semi-final. They're back in action.
Oh, here comes Vatira. Backboard, and it's not quite enough. He couldn't get over the ball, but the follow-up shot is considerably uncontested.
Look at this combo. Sometimes they're a little bit too close. Sometimes they get the positioning perfect. Charlie, no flip, had to use the fast aerial double jump. And he has slotted that top corner. The bump comes through for Vatira. KC 1-0.
When you're playing a series at this pace, though, you just have to accept that, yes, sometimes we're going to get in each other's way. Yes, we're going to double commit, but play what's fluid. Play what feels good. And if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. But if we're spending our entire time worrying that we're going to double commit, we're going to be slow. We're not going to be able to do what we want.
Charlie on ball. Oh, that's a nice
zero boost.
What's it done? Zero boost still. The double wave dash to pop it around 2. That time won't be as effective as you'd liked, but still looked mighty nice. Just the things that these guys can do these days with minimal boost or zero boost in the tank. Charlie is just, he's playing hopscotch on the ball, and he's absolutely got the Dig defenders in a spin.
I mean, we've seen what he could do with 100 boost. Didn't know he could do that with 0. Popped a wheelie at one point just to control the ball a little bit further. Joris immediately challenged. There's very little boost at the moment, and they're going to be let away with it. Here comes Jack. Vatira quite easily has that one covered. 1 goal difference as we head in towards the final minute of the game. Is it about to be 2? Yes, it is.
It's just easy as you like. Vatira sits downfield, grabs the corner boost. Atto throws it on net. Just back post. Vati does the rest. No one back for Dig. KC looking like they're out for revenge here.
And that's the reason why no one can look at this and say, oh, okay, they're all qualified. It doesn't mean anything. Like, this is all about being the best team in Europe heading in towards what is only lands for the rest of the season for these teams. You need that momentum. KC, they want to know that this team hasn't caught up to them. They just had a blip.
Yeah, we heard it from apparently Jack as well. They want to play every tournament. They want to win every tournament. They're not just going to be complacent with qualifying for the major, qualifying for the World Championships in Lyon. They want to go back-to-back, Jorius. Makes that touch, and then on the other side of things, as you mentioned, you just know how competitive Vatira is. He wants to win. He doesn't like to lose. So when he gets a chance at revenge, they're going to make it count.
Well, so far, this has been incredibly well controlled from KC. Doing everything that was required of them. Andrade's just going to boom the ball long. Dizzy will take over, though that touch straight down to Atto. Right now, Dignitas not clicking the way that they typically would. At the same time, it was worse than this when we saw these two teams play 2 weeks ago. Game 1 was a thrashing from KC, and then Dignitas figured it out. Dignitas might even look at it and just go, oh, it wasn't as bad as last time. We're in a good spot.
Yeah, glass half full start, but KC are going to take it 2-0 every day of the week. They've been looking fantastic so far on Champ Sunday. Maybe some late magic. Oh, it's a redirect for Stizzy. It doesn't mean anything, but it could mean everything for momentum going into the next game. Jack with the reset. What is with teams scoring the best goals when the game is over?
Stizzy just did that just to make sure he wasn't under 100 points that game. That's the only reason why he scored that. 1-0 to KC. Yeah, they don't seem overly bothered by that goal.
Yeah, 1-0, well, 1-0
Charlie is quite literally looking down his nose at that goal. He really could not care less.
I don't know, if I'm Dignitas off that last little play, I'm thinking, oh, let's get into the next game. Forget about a timeout. I want to hop straight in, use that momentum. It was still 7 shots to 6, so that's a big metric for Karmine Corp usually. If they're, you know, I think we mentioned in the previous series they played 14 shots to 4 against Gentlemen, so that's their play style, but Dig actually outshot them in that game. So it did look heavily KC-sided, but not to be there. That's a good sign for Dig.
I think Dignitas, though, just couldn't really get the ball under control. I'm fairly certain a lot of those shots would just be, we've cleared the ball long, and it just so happens to be on target, but it wasn't really all that threatening to KC, who, yeah, I mean, they're playing very, very well at the moment, and it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're double committing, does it? They're just so fast. They read each other so well. It might matter a little bit more, but Dignitas got to find 2 more gears worth of pace in order to capitalize on anything.
Yeah, as we mentioned, Drali and Vatira, it feels like they've morphed into one person, but it's working. You know, they're double committing, but they're also combining up front better than any duo we've seen. So great play from KC, great start, but just that little glimmer at the end there for Dig. Game 1, I do like seeing that, and they can bring confidence going into this to tie it up.
The same way they were getting a lot of their opportunities 2 weeks ago as well. It's just leaving somebody downfield, so getting success in the same manner will give them a decent amount of confidence. As that's just dropping almost there, and Stiz is going to make sure of it. Did not trust the crossbar, and he was right to have trust issues.
Yeah, make sure of it. What's a 50 from apparently Jack? There is zero nonsense about that thing. Offensive third, he's showing the aggression. Just hit it with pace. And, well, we mentioned that last goal. It may mean nothing for game 1, but it could mean everything going into game 2.
Back down again, Drali. Oh, that's a lot to work with. And he quickly decides that one's not going to work out for him. Stizzy, he's done all of that. I think he really wanted somebody to challenge him so he could outplay them. Oh, it's a big misread! Drali has caused the whoopsie!
We don't see this too often. Atto loses the 50. Jorius, Jack ready. And Drali hopping onto the backboard. Thought he had the easy clear. Just doesn't jump in time. Fingers might be a bit cold, or a Dig putting the pressure on.
But 2-0. Out of nowhere, really. And I think this has to now score 3 goals in what is effectively 40 seconds of gameplay. We include the last one. Nice touch there from Jorius. Vatira looking to try and bump Jack. Drali trying to put that last play behind him and try and create a little bit of magic for his team. They're going to need it at the moment. This game has gone pretty horribly to this point. Stizzy avoid Vatira and get the ball. He accomplishes both.
We saw in the semi-final against Gentlemates for KC, they are susceptible to a bit of momentum. That happened when KC were 3-0 up, though. That was pretty much series over, having to reverse sweep. But Dig have turned it around in 1 game, and pretty much less than 1 game we saw in that final goal, Shogun. So they can get on a run here, Dig. They can certainly put the heat on Karmine Corp.
Well, so far, we are following the exact same script from the last time these two faced in the finals. All right, well, we've got a bit of a difference. And it's a couple of misplays really starting to litter this series. Jack's just overplayed it.
Yeah, that's poor. That's poor from Jack. He went for a reset off the roof and thought he'd just catch it with an air dribble, but it's easy to say in hindsight, but it is a risky play still. He could have just popped it across, had Stizzy on the right wall. He went the solo instead and gives him a free goal.
Finally, a bit of momentum going back towards KC. Drali only can collect the ball, but he can air dribble it. Jack on the follow-up. Drali's just not clicked just yet in this game. Really struggling with a lot of his plays. Good bump. Here comes Vatira, backboard. He's under pressure. Next up is Drali. He chooses not to try and take any unnecessary risks. Do not want to be back down by two. Stizzy's got to avoid Vatira. And now here comes Atto. It's just too much.
He's still got chances. Can bump everyone on the line, but Jack's first on the scene. Shot wide. Jorius very clear. Down to Jack. If it's over Vatira, had to get two on it. That's a huge touch from him. Certainly just relieves the pressure that Dig were looking for the counter-attack. Corner now. Free shot. Double boost grab instead. 50 comes through. Jorius low boost. Vatira waits down the line. And Carmine Corp looking to tie this up. Half the game to go. Still Dignitas well and truly in the box seat, but we know how quickly this KC team can turn it around.
KC are still looking for those demos on the third man. Okay, it's a game that Dignitas are happy to play with them because they'll just launch first man and look to do the exact same thing. Have a target man down the field. When you are so high up on the press, anything goes wrong in your offense, you're completely caught. So both teams happy to play with fire. Drali back in midfield. Stizzy's low. Wanted to give that to Jorius, but Jorius didn't have a path in. In comes Atto. I think he wanted backboard double. Instead, he's got to settle for a 50. Vatira back down, and Jorius with the post clears it.
Yeah, he uses his friend of the post to help that one. Goes straight downfield, but Charlie's up again. This time it's Stizzy with the save. They are clamping. Carmine Corp. Digger holding on. Jack doesn't get the double. It's Charlie again. He's going the direct approach. Luckily enough, Stizzy finds the pop, and I think they're out.
Wow.
Beautiful double from Stizzy. All the pressure gone.
That's exactly what you need in those situations. Just any way of getting some time. You know the ball's coming back. You don't have the players to control it. But at least you can go and get some boost and reposition. Atto on the 50. Next one up is Vatira. Might have expected Jorius to come and challenge him, so ends up being a free ball. Reset. Jack on his way. Does not want that previous goal to come back to haunt him because it was a freebie. And KC are starting to swarm yet again. Vatira jumped early. Jack clears long, and Drali against Jack over towards the sides.
That's so smart from Jack and Jorius. Jorius just let the ball sit right on his bonnet, let Jack come across and find the clear, just baiting KC in, using each other. But there's a great chance. Atto too quick. No one up from Dig. We got a tie ball game.
It really felt like it was about time. Finally, after they got a little bit of a brief moment out of their side of the field, Dignitas didn't have the manpower back, didn't have the defense. Two each. And KC have got this one back in their hands. And if they keep playing the way they are, should be a matter of time before they get the win. Although here comes Jack. Drali's got the beat on the reset. Where will he respawn? Oh, he didn't get count for where Jorius would come up.
Yeah, new respawn update. Jorius first on the scene, able to get back in time, but Dig looking a little bit in trouble. If KC just opened the door, a little pocket. Could have been on net. 20 seconds. Do we find an overtime? Jorius low boost. Jack confident pre-jump and finds his teammate Jorius, scoops up the 100. Final 10 seconds. Any late magic here? It's a good 50. Stizzy has to take it up the wall. Atto looking to hang on. Jack's already pre-jumped. Jorius, this is your time. A bit of magic. Can't make the touch work. I think both teams will take an overtime right now.
I've never seen somebody want a musty flick more than Jorius wanted one there. Just didn't line up for him. Ended up just scooping it away. Here's Drali. And yeah, Jorius knows he's got to get there because Drali's starting to cook up. Here is Jorius. Oh, unintended pass over to Stizzy, but he'll take it. There's Vatira there early off the wall. He's got Atto in support. Can he get the ball over to him? Does he need him? As he almost managed to use the obvious infield as his own weapon to turn it straight in.
Dignitas playing a lot of defense. Double demo as well. It's a big mistake on the goal line. I think they've overthought the play, but Atto with the dunk, with the follow. KC take the second.
Well, Stizzy just came out on Atto's screen like a jump scare. Atto's really got no clue where he is because you can't see through that wall as the attacking player. And Stizzy just got it a little bit wrong, put it straight back into his path. And Dignitas see a 2-goal lead evaporate.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one. Obviously, he'd prefer not to be on the sidewall in the post, but he was dodging a demo, found himself in that spot, and he's just accidentally blocked it straight back into the path of Atto. But what a performance individually. I mean, we've talked about Drali, we talked about Vatira, this split in particular, but that game, hat trick from Atto, sub 200 points from his teammates. He did everything.
When Atto is playing that level of direct, he is so hard to play against. We saw it for the first goal, just how quick that was. This one, I mean, he's just straight there. Atto does not play as if something's going to go wrong for his team. He's always taking the positive angle. And because his team just wins so many 50s in situations, it works out well for him.
And looked like a Dignitas game as well, at least at the start. You mentioned the script going in a similar manner as Open 5 here in Europe, but they see it was Atto, as we mentioned, turning it around, and it's close. You know, Dig probably playing the better game. Game 1, they have more shots. Game 2, he's making a couple of little mistakes here and there, but you've got to give credit to KC. They're putting the foot down. It's on Panda now with the timeout called by Dignitas.
And I'm sure there'll be one person that'll be quite happy with Atto's performance, and that's the guy on the screen right now, Drali. Didn't have the best start to that one. It was his mistake off the backboard that kind of opened up the gaps. On the opposite side of that, though, Dignitas and Jack will be wishing that they had that 1 goal extra to work with after taking on that much KC offense to the end of regulation time. That's the levels that we're working with. Any mistake, and it will be turned on your goal. As Dignitas look for the answers.
We mentioned the yawning debuff, but I feel like every time we've looked at Drali, who we consider the best player in the world, he looks asleep. He's a very, very cool, calm and collected type of operator. But why wouldn't you be in this position? Grand final, 2-0 up, perfect possible start here. I still think Dig can turn it around, and we saw glimpses in that game. We saw glimpses at the end of the first game. They just need a 5-minute performance.
Yeah, there's definitely bits and pieces right there. It's just putting that all together. Playing free-flowing Rocket League is the only way you can play against KC. If you assume that they're going to beat you to the ball, yeah, they tend to. Have to play very positively and also get the results to go with it. Atto sidewall double. Even had the flip reset that he uses for the wave dash. Backboard Joris, not the best touch. And Vatira always denied by Jack. But it's the same thing again for Dignitas. They are causing their own problems from slight mistouches.
I don't know why they love to defend on their goal line so much. It's crazy. They want to push out, but this is what KC do. It's the fake into the double. Atto misses. Had an opening. They completely faked them out there. KC's offense, and they've still got a chance with the demo. And this time, Vati don't miss. 1-0.
How was this one being set beforehand? That it was the defense of KC versus the offense of Dignitas? Nah, not at the moment. KC are all over them.
Yeah. Flip that script on its head. Farah mentioned the new playstyle from KC. We've seen plenty of double commits, particularly from Vatira and Drali. Could be the new playstyle, but it's working out because this offense is ridiculous right now. Look at him go. Atto with a close double this time. Jorius goes, I've seen that before.
I think we're starting to learn. Never say Vatira is defensive. He takes that personally. One of the big insults towards his gameplay. Drali looking for the reset off the backboard. He actually had the angle as well. Stizzy needed to be there.
Atto popping it up. Oh, Drali with space again. He's looking for the double. He's skimmed it perhaps too far, but he was worried about the backboard sidewall defense from Dig. You know how defensive they're going to sit. Drali empties, well, feels his tank from 95 to 100 with that corner boost. Bit of overfill there. Vatira, the midfield challenge. This is probably the first time we've seen the blue half of this game. Shogun, it's a rare sight.
Yeah, KC have started a couple of more pre-jumps as well. They're starting to really look comfortable Dignitas need to wrestle back some respect more than anything else. They need KC to play the defensive option more often, because right now they are getting dusted to so much. Big chance, really, as Drali calls that he's going to take it, and then realizes, oh wait, I might not actually have the boost for this. Vatira, actually, it was all yours all the time, my friend.
That's the advantage of sitting so close to each other. They're just ready. If one player's awkward, if one player's low on boost, can easily take over as Jack goes low. The low fakes. I like the change up of pace. Atto first on the scene though. Finds 2. If he finds 3, they're in big trouble. Vatira, can he rip a shot on? He's going to go corner read double.
Okay.
Doesn't quite get the skim that he wanted, but he's feeling it.
Yeah, might be a bit overly confident, so we just assume that that's going to be plan A. It's usually the, okay, we've got nothing else available, I might as well give it a go. Straight back out, Atto. Oh, with Jack having to avoid demos, he might have the angle, and well, he certainly gave it a good chance. Back into the midfield, Drali to Vati. They kind of get in each other's way. And Jack will clear to the sides. This has actually got a bit of time to work with. He needs to put something together. Vatira's already on him. That was a pre-jump.
Yeah, I like the recognition from Stizzy. He saw that he had space, didn't just blast it downfield, but see how quick that Vatira can close the gap. Finds the challenge. Speaking of challenges, apparently Jack showing the aggression, steals boost. If you find a bump, the bump plays have been a feature for Jack, but not so far this series, and they're in a little bit of trouble in defense. Everyone front post, but you see Atto not willing to strike. He's playing the slow game, trying to keep Dig pinned.
The difference has been is that last time they could avoid the demos because they were still playing at a decent amount of pace. This time, they're stuck on the back line. And when you're playing backline defense, your cars are slow. You really don't have that many options. It's easier to be found by a demoing player. You already see Vatira's still looking for more. Atto might have actually opened up some space. And Atto is playing some brilliant Rocket League at the moment. He has to be shut down by Dignitas.
You can see apparently Jack as well looking for those bumps to open it up, but it can be risky to push forward when your teammates are stuck in net. Going to play goal line defense. Dizzy found a bit of room through the midfield. Low boost though. That's a great 50 to Jack, who just blasted on net. Vatira has to parry to the side. Atto down the line. KC really not struggling to get it out of net. Whereas Dig down the other end, just completely stuck. They're in no man's land. Stizzy, redirect. There's a chance. Atto, all of a sudden Dig. 30 seconds left. They found space.
And they need to. Cannot afford to put themselves where the gentlemates were. Requiring that reverse sweep. Jack is going to go for the player. Can't find them. Drali's gone over towards the ceiling to escape him. Yes. Well, Jack, yeah, he's already on his way, and Vatira knows it. But is he out of position now? No, not quite. And that's very awkward. Joyce is going to try and make something of it, but no real surprise that he couldn't do too much.
Joris backboard. Jack's up. Joris to get the job down. He's gone for the shot instead. Stizzy waiting. Could have been the best chance. Still for Jack. 50. Atto with boost. Dig almost creating magic, but KC looking to carry it down. They're looking for the 3-0. Stizzy up. Drali low boost. He's got it on, but Drali knew he didn't have the power. It's Karmine Corp 3-0. One away from another perfect event.
I mean, that was so close, but Joris just could not quite. He needs to either get it on target or get it to a teammate. Unfortunately, he found that no man's land in between. But for KC, I mean, what a response that this has been for a team that has, over the last few seasons, had the we're the best, and then suddenly no longer having that title to themselves. This is the first time that they've had a real rocket in their season, and not only have they bounced back it from once, they bounced back twice. I mean, GK did the exact same thing. How did KC respond? They won Birmingham.
And this story, well, the script so far, if we're a believer in a series, it's going similarly to the semi-final. We had the timeout after 2-0 down for Gentlemates. They then got stomped in the third game and managed to win 2 on the bounce. It just feels like Dignitas, this goal line defense, and as you mentioned, the script being completely turned on its head with the KC offense versus Dignitas defense. It's not a recipe for success. I mean, they're padding the stats. They're looking good on the saves column, but they cannot sustain any offense against the blue wall.
And that's something you'll know better than anyone else, CJ, is that no one chooses to play defense. So how do you wrestle back some midfield challenge and control here if you're Dignitas?
Yeah, well, I think Jack's been trying it, which is just opening up with some demos, but it's such a high-risk, high-reward playstyle. You know, you're sacrificing a back post rotation, some support in net, to perhaps open it up down the other end through the midfield. If it doesn't land, though, you're in trouble.
Just need something to go right to Dignitas. Need that respect. Needs to match this rotation. And right now it is all the KC tempo. Jorius will take over. Realize he's got to jump early. One of the weird skills I feel like you have to be good at if you're going to play at all well against KC is you have to be able to pre-jump. Because either because you want to match the tempo or you're trying to avoid a demo, you are going to have jump earlier than you ever wanted to.
Especially against KC. Jack, the corner, finds two. Vatira, though, this has time to land. The double demo. Atto was immediately looking for the passing option to remove the attack, and it's a fantastic job. Space for Drali, gets bumped off at Jack. He'll have room to move. Off the ceiling, can get two. Vatira right there. It just feels like the quality of attack when you're comparing both sides. It's so far in favor of Karmine Corp. They're just finding greater opportunities than Dig that are really throwing it to multiple defenders on net.
Yeah, whilst Dig's offense has been a little bit uninspired so far this game, they're having offense. And that's a big difference to what we've had in the previous few games. Now what can they do? Now they're not shocked that they're actually over in this position. Atto looks to try and air dribble out. Vatira has quite easily beat Stizzy to this. Now Drali's on his way. Reset against a pre-jumping Jack. Hits the crossbar. And that's a let-off for Dignitas.
Oh, they must have turned up the ding sound. That is absolutely ripped it. There's the bump, follow-up, Jack underneath, the counter-attack, but they're just not ready for the aggression. He had no idea that Drali was going to insta-challenge. Jorius finds two. One more with a 50 as well. KC seemingly just too quick through the midfield, and Dig not ready for the pace.
Dig just have to keep changing their angles. KC play the ball, and then suddenly the car that was playing it is suddenly in front of the ball. Drali, no boost, but also no problems. So you have to avoid getting bumped on your way to try and take the perfect hit. Doesn't sound... Oh, wait a minute! As that somehow kept out, Drali will scoop the ball away. What else? A play out of nowhere? It's a save out of nowhere.
They went the double demo, Shogun. They landed the double demo. They forgot about the ball. It was nearly a goal. Jorius finding the clear. Is Vatira back? It's not online. That would have been an absolute disaster from KC, who they removed everyone on the pitch, but forgot that the ball was going into their net. What a team save.
Atto on his way up. He's not really got the boost to do anything other than take a 50. And Jack knows that, so comes in a bit late. Jorius pops the ball up. Up goes Stizzy into Jack. Bit of time. Atto jumps early to avoid getting bumped. And Drali just waiting on the backboard. KC's off-the-ball players always play like their teammates are going to get it right. And it just allows them so much freedom.
Speaking of, Dignitas are finding a little bit more space. Maybe they were rattled, KC, by that half chance. I'd love to see a slow-mo. That ball looked 99% across the line. Stizzy, does he find the shot? No, Drali backwards. Flings it across, but Jack has stolen boost. This is the first time KC have had to just batten down the hatches, had to sit in net. And Jorius looking for the ceiling touches to fake to Stizzy instead. Doesn't quite come off, and it might have just let KC breathe for a moment.
In terms of territory, this has been all Dignitas. They have got every bit of offense going. Have not got the result for it, though. Drali looking for the sidewall skim. He's had so many attempts today. He's desperate to get at least one of those today.
Yeah,
he's terrible take.
He's looking. He's hunting for it. But what I do like here, Shogun, from Dig, they've spread out the defense. They've spread out the structure, and they're happy to sit someone downfield. They're taking the risk instead of sitting three in net, which is what we saw in the first three games. That's not sustainable. It's not going to work against KC. This is better from Dig. This has been a much better 90 seconds.
They just can't afford to get stuck here again. This is the first time KC have really got them at least attempted to be locked down, and they have got out. Who's the next one to this? Jorius with the pinch. Much better. Dignitas escaped their side of the field, and Atto's had a bit of an argument with the wall.
And he's lost. He's fully lost that argument. Found himself backwards, but we are seeing Dig with more space to work it out in net. The Tira ceiling challenge. Jack can find the clear downfield. Should be able to get two. Atto does a great job not to get dunked. 10 seconds left. Really been pleased with Dig's half the game so far. They've changed up the structure. They're looking like they're getting more time on the ball, but KC can quickly say no to things. We do head to another overtime, however.
Yeah, they've been looking better, but they've got to find the goal. Otherwise, KC are taking this in a sweep. Zato and Stizzy, I think there was a little bit of a rule or two happening over there. None of them which were necessarily applied to. Is Vatira backboard double? Can't quite find it. In comes Zato, looking for it himself. It's so awkward. Winstrad going to try and pounce. Over towards the corner. Vatira with Jack, who avoids the bump, gets the ball. Dignitas are really against it at the start of OT.
Just look at Drally POV. He's being an absolute pest up front. He's waiting for the next chance, but Jorius could crack down the other end. It is a double commit. Vatira scooped up the boost. Atto's got 0, and Stizzy's got space. Drally's no boost, insta challenge. It's enough of a touch on it. The dig have withstood offense that I'm not sure many other teams would have held off. KC certainly had a chance to win that overtime, but Drally's found a window out, and they've found it down the other end.
Jorius wants to follow. Vatira wins it. He can still keep going. It's out to Atto! And somehow Stizzy gets there. They might even break away. Stizzy against Vatira, trying to buy some time for some teammates to get back. In comes Drally. In comes Atto. They're not going to read it. Yes, they are! Pushing the ball away. KC had a great chance. Dignitas have had one of their own. Who's going to take this overtime?
Oh, Stizzy going for the Zen catch. This game stepped up a notch. We hit the overtime. He can feel the pressure. Both teams with fantastic chances. Stizzy is low boost. He's waiting for that mid spawn. He's going to have to leave it. He doesn't know when it's coming up. Finally gets it, but Vatira winning the midfield challenge over Jack. Stizzy has to dodge the demo. Has to come up big with a double 50. Does so, but it's wide open. They're just too good. KC, another open qualifier win.
4 across the season. A Birmingham major. And maybe a Raleigh major and a world championship still to add to the tally. Questions were asked. Is Dignitas going to dislodge KC at the last moment? Coming caught with a resounding no.
7 grand finals, 5 wins throughout the season, including the Birmingham Major, if you don't mind. This team has just swept another event, 4-0 in the grand final in one of the most competitive, if not the best region in the world. I mean, that's a fantastic response, Shogun, against the team that beat them in open number 5.
Yeah, they're having absolutely none of it, are they? I mean, yeah, you beat us, but it was close. When we beat you, it wasn't at all close. And to think, like, the level that Dignitas have been playing fantastically all weekend long. They've been toying with teams in the group stage. They managed to dismantle Vitality in the previous semi-final. But KC are just a level above. And they are the benchmark for everyone to follow as we head into the lands.
And we had a chat to Vatira yesterday about just how they respond when they do lose, when they do drop a final like they did in Open 5. And he enjoys losing. He treats it as a chance to learn, to grow as a team. And Shogun, they grew. They went to another level that Dig didn't have today. And what a performance, 4-0.
Yeah, KC are the best team in Europe. They'll look to try and prove that they are the best team in the world when we head over to Raleigh and the World Championship. To talk more about it is the desk.
Oh, chat, how silly were you? No, I'm glad that they went with that pick, because honestly, it would have been an interesting story. It would have been cool to see this be a closer series, but at the end of the day, gosh dang, is K-Corp so good, Gibbs?
Yep, and they're breaking records again in the open era lands of the regionals. They have now won 4 European regionals. That's never been done in Europe before. And even if you include Season X with that dominant BDS, we had extra on the desk pretty much after every single one. They only won technically 5 out of 9 regionals, so BDS winning 4 out of 6 is still better than that, or K-Corp doing this here. So K-Corp, fantastic showing from them, and to do it in such dominant fashion. And this is exactly what Ferrer wanted, right? He's like, this is great. Like, Dignitas beat us when we were playing well. That's just going to make us better. And they absolutely proved it this entire weekend long.
Yeah, Johnny, I mean, that's the thing. When you start winning a lot and you're the best, what do you set your sights on? Well, let's start breaking those records. Let's start setting new standards that can't be beat.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. These guys are all, successful players before they team together, so they know what it's like to chase the next win and the next win and then the next win after that. And they're putting together a pretty historic season so far. We saw the grand final streak from G2, now NRG this season. I think, you know, KC, they're hunted. They want to try and track that one down.
Yeah, well, I got to figure out with Dignitas. I mean, what did they do walking away from this one, Gibbs? I mean, you come into this feeling so good, and then you get borrowed by KC.
I feel like no team in the world right now feels that bad when they lose to a K-Corp, because I think everyone knows that K-Corp are that good, right? And Dignitas, they have a lot of tape to go over from these last two regional finals, and to just get to play K-Corp again is a win in their books, I think, because they can learn from that. Like, if they would have lost to Vitality, they don't get that opportunity again, right? Before the major. So they'll have a lot of tape to look over to try and take down the world's best. But it's very difficult to say that Dignitas, like, if you're ranking the entire world, I could see them at 2. I could see them at 3 at this point, because they're one of the few teams that can actually compete versus K-Corp. This time they fell a bit short, but I expect them to do pretty well when we get to the Raleigh Major.
Actually, Johnny, because I'm sure there's going to be some tier lists coming out here. There's a quick preview. I mean, looking at this now, what's a kind of an early like preview of what you're thinking when it comes to the teams going to Raleigh? Maybe your top like 3 or 4 or 5.
Well, you know, S tier is K-Corp by themselves. Again, they've reestablished the dominance there, so they're alone at the top. But I think Dignitas have joined the A tier, the chasing pack. The other teams in there, you know, you got to include Falcons, NRG. You know, maybe a Furia. It's like they're on the fence. Not sure to make a Furia. But yeah, you've also got more teams coming out of NA this split with SSG looking really exciting. So yeah, can't wait to see them on LAN as well.